What's up everybody, this is Danny, and today we're going to put two of the best mobile cameras on the market head to head to see which one is better. The new Samsung Galaxy S8 and the iPhone 7 have similar 12 megapixel cameras on the back, both shoot 4K video with optical image stabilization, and I got a lot of requests for this video, for I know this is one of the deciding factors when making a buying decision, so let's just jump right in. Let me just start this comparison by saying both of these cameras are great, and you really can't go wrong with either of them. Both have great colors, fantastic dynamic range, and most of the time you'll get some really nice images out of both of them. But if you really want to start looking at the pictures side by side, then you will notice that the iPhone's images always tend to lean towards the flat and natural looking colors with very smooth processing, where the Galaxy S8 still tends to process more towards the vibrant colors with more contrast and heavier sharpening. The Galaxy S8's processing has improved quite a bit actually, and some might actually like the sharper looking image of the S8, but I personally tend to like the more natural look without the over sharpening of the iPhone 7, but I do like how the S8 has a more contrasted look right off the bat. I shot all of these photos on auto with auto HDR on because that's the default on both of these phones, and most normal people will end up using this mode, so I wanted it to be fair. I did notice that on some shots the Galaxy S8 did a better job with white balance with a more pleasing shot, and I thought the dynamic range on some shots also looked better on the Galaxy S8, but it kept going back and forth, so it's tough to call a winner in good lighting conditions. They're both great. When it comes to 4K video, both look similar with great dynamic range and sharpness, but once again the iPhone tends to have more natural and flatter colors. Now, I shot this video handheld right next to each other. Both do a good job of stabilizing handheld video, but once you start walking, you think the Galaxy S8's video is much more stable, but the stabilization is much more aggressive, and you can start to see some weird artifacting in the video where the iPhone video moves a lot more, but the stabilization is much more natural. You can see it better when I'm walking down these stairs, but the electronic stabilization combo on the S8 does keep things looking smoother overall, especially in dramatic movements. So what do you guys think about this? Let me know which one you think looks better in the comment section below. Both do a good job with exposure, even with dramatic light changes. I think they both do fairly well in terms of gradually changing exposure with variable lighting. The front-facing camera, I thought the iPhone looked better with more contrast and better skin tones, and I thought the image just looked nicer overall, even though the S8 has a wider camera, which I like better, but the video, that's a different story, and I think the S8 does a much better job. Alright, so if you're wondering about audio, then I'm going to switch in between the two devices, see which one sounds better. There is a lot of road noise out here, so you might catch a lot of background noise, but it'll give you a good idea of what the microphone sounds like on either of these devices here. So I'm recording on the front-facing camera right now. The Samsung Galaxy S8 actually has an 8 megapixel f1.7 aperture lens, which also has autofocus, which is great. And on the iPhone, you have a 7 megapixel camera with f2.2 aperture. So you're also going to be able to record higher quality video on the Samsung Galaxy S8. A lot of people are probably interested in the low light performance the most, and the Galaxy S8 does do a slightly better job at producing a slightly brighter picture, and while sometimes it doesn't produce the most realistic colors, it does retain the most detail. The 4K video at night is pretty much the same result. They both look nice, but the Galaxy S8 is slightly brighter with better exposure, and it retains more detail. If you look at the store where the iPhone blows out the indoor lighting, the S8 exposes much better, and it's an overall cleaner image. The darker it got, the more the S8 really started to pull away, where I felt the colors were represented better and the images really started to retain more detail compared to the iPhone. Look at how much more detail there is in the car and how much better it's exposed, and even though it's more contrasted, I prefer the Galaxy S8's low light pictures overall. So what do you guys think? I think this is a tough call. I honestly think that it's a tie. I think that the more natural processing of the iPhone is nicer in daylight, but the low light performance is better on the S8. You can't go wrong with either, but I prefer the more natural processing and natural color, so if you care about my opinion, and if I had to choose one, I would still choose the iPhone 7. If you agree or disagree, which I know you will, let me know in the comment section below. Both fantastic cameras, you won't be disappointed with either. Thumbs up if you enjoyed this, subscribe for more, and let me know what cameras that you want me to compare next, and I will see you guys in the next one.